Good evening, I'm Barry Burns. Our top story, Manitoba teachers have voted almost 2-to-1 against a plan that would have allowed their union, the Manitoba Teachers Society, to bargain province-wide for them. This was yesterday at their annual meeting in Winnipeg. Today, they gathered at the Legislature to show their support for public school education. The rally organized by the Teachers Society was aimed at demonstrating against provincial funding cuts. They believe the cuts will result in fewer instructional resources, larger classes, and less individual attention for students. Education Minister Rosemary Vaudry was sent a letter of invitation to the rally but declined to attend. Opposition members seized the opportunity.
I want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you for coming out today and standing up for the kids of our province as you do every day in our classrooms across our province.
Very interesting, as Gary Dewar mentioned, that the Premier chose not to be here this morning. He was on this step 2 days ago speaking with a group of students, but he was not prepared to come here today to be listened to talk to you, to talk to parents, to talk to teachers, to talk to professionals. What type of a message is he sending to the people of Manitoba?
Tonight, in Winnipeg, thousands turn out at a rally to express their anger. An epidemic of drug overdoses finally peaks in Vancouver. In Germany, an arson attack kills a family and injures 14 others.
Live from the Manitoba Television Network, MTN Pulse News, Weekend Edition with Diane Miller and Andre Bryn.
Good evening, I'm Diane Miller. Manitoba teachers have rejected province-wide bargaining yesterday during the annual meeting of the Manitoba Teachers Society. Delegates agreed by a vote of 170-91 to repeal a policy objective of having the society bargain on behalf of all the province's 12,900 teachers. Teachers say it would be harder for them to win benefits and easy for the government to freeze salaries if the society bargained for all of them. Currently, the 54 local teacher associations bargain individually with their respective school divisions. And that brings us closer to home on our next story. About 2,000 people turned out to vent their anger over cuts to the provincial education system today in Winnipeg. The group, which was mostly made up of teachers, is calling on the government to rethink its policy of cutting millions of dollars in education cutbacks. Chris Armstrong was there and has more.
They came from across Manitoba to call on the government to change its education policy.
Is give kids a chance.
At times it seemed like a carnival atmosphere, but these people are very serious about what the cutbacks mean to them. The government turned down a request to speak at this rally. The Premier was on the record of saying this rally would turn into nothing more than a lot of government bashing. Well, the Premier was right.
And the actions of this government will cause only suffering. Many of the financial problems of this government are caused by this government. They have opened the artery and they expect the public school education to bleed.
Bill 22 is not fair.
Bill 22 would chop teachers' professional development days. This, along with an increased workload, has some teachers refusing to do any activities outside of the classroom. Now teachers are saying the cutbacks are going to affect what goes on in the classroom as well.
My teaching load will be about 25% greater next year than it is this year. So that's going to have all kinds of implications in terms of what I can do in the course of the school year.
And finally, they were warned what long-term cutbacks might mean to the system.
I have come to the conclusion that in our obsession with debts and deficits, we have to be extremely careful that we do not do irreparable damage to our real investment for the future, that is our children and our young people.
The government's position is because of reduced payments by Ottawa and lower revenue than expected, it can't afford things the way it used to. Teachers have been told to keep their signs ready. They expect to be back demonstrating again. In Winnipeg, Chris Armstrong, Pulse News.